Glad to have your company on RTV News. Now, top of our coverage, the Ministry of Health says it is prioritizing cervical cancer screenings for women over the age of 30 and intends to achieve this to a tune of 70% by 2030. Olivun Tete kicks us off.
This Sunday's mass sport activity focused mainly on the issue of cervical cancer. François Rutabana and Uzayisenga Josephine, who attended the mass sport, believe that fighting this cancer concerns everyone. In Rwanda, this cancer is prevalent. We as people who do sports, there is need to put more efforts in sensibilizing people about the importance of such activities, because there are people who choose to stay in their homes, but we should sensibilize them about the importance of doing sports. People's mindset has to change. Many of them don't understand the importance, but in reality, the physical activities assist us in preventing very many diseases. In cooperation with the Ministry of Health partners, Gicumbi district placed approximately 55,000 women in the cervical cancer screening program, whereby now 20,000 of them underwent screening, and 600 among those screened displayed symptoms.
Tumaze kugera ku bantu 20 RBC na Electa Foundation na CHAI n'abandi bafatanyabikorwa dukorana.
The Ministry of Health, in partnership with Electa Foundation, 20,000 people have been screened with cancer, and with the help of other various partners. In 20,000 that were screened, 600 among them showed symptoms of cervical cancer, and they were treated and cured. Among those 600, 7 of them were at early stage of cancer. Cancer has 4 stages, and when it is diagnosed in the first or second stage, it is really easy to get treated and being held. And all those 7 people are currently undergoing treatments to avoid metastasis. This is a good sign that we can reach as many places as possible. We are currently at 25% in reaching people, but this is a good start, and that's why we made it a particular program. It is very easy to eradicate the disease because young girls receive the vaccine. We may say that they are immunized, but those above age, we do screening and treatment to avoid cancer, which is hard and expensive to treat, and also to avoid death.
The World Health Organization representative to Rwanda, Dr. Brian Chirombo, points out that much is being done to eradicate cervical cancer in Rwanda.
Good thing with Rwanda is we're very high political commitment. The First Lady has not only been a champion for here in country in Rwanda, but for WHO, she's also one of our champions in pushing for the cervical cancer to be eliminated. Rwanda has made a lot of progress in terms of a number of these areas. Community mobilization, I've talked about HPV vaccination. It's one of the countries that has a very advanced program, and they are vaccinating most of the younger girls against HPV. In addition to that, the country has been doing a lot of work on screening, but one good thing about this initiative is it's now taking the step further to now saying, how do we do it district by district, woman by woman, screening them for HPV.
During the year 2020 in Rwanda, about 8,835 people were infected with different types of cancer, and among them, 1,229 people, equivalent to 13.9%, had cervical cancer. It ranked second after breast cancer, with 1,237 cases, equivalent to 14% of all cancers. 25% of women over the age of 30 have been screened and advised on how to take proper care of themselves, and the goal is that by 2030, at least 70% of these women will have been screened. Between 2011 and 2021, approximately 1.3 million girls over the age of 12 were vaccinated against cervical cancer, which is equivalent to 93%. Olive Nete, RTV News.
Notable progress there. Thank you, Olive, for that report. Now, in more news, Rwanda National Police has arrested a 34-year-old man who is allegedly responsible for several brutal murders in different parts of Kigali. Adam Squizera filed this report.
This 34-year-old man, named Hafashimana Eusto, born in Ngorore district, Ngorore sector, Kansete South, is alleged to have committed several brutal murders. Hafashimana was arrested after killing 4 people in different parts of Kigali city and beheading 2 others and severely injured them. Some of the survivors explain how he used machetes to hug them. We were asleep with my colleague. Then he came at like 1 a.m. We found him upon us, slaughtering. He cut my arm and head, but I survived. For me, he slaughtered me from the head to the nose. He made me blind due to those injuries. I always have a headache. Hafashimana, who is currently under arrest at Kigali Metropolitan Police, admits that he killed those residents. I slaughtered them while they were asleep, and those people killed were security guards. For me, I had a plan in my mind to kill 40 people. Then after, my colleague is the one who sent police to arrest me. The alleged serial killer was arrested on 3rd February with 3 handsets belonging to 3 victims killed, including Leonce Shimimana, Vedast Gafaranga, and Gideon Nyakavanda. The Rwanda National Police spokesperson, CP John Bosco Kabera, noted that the accused to murdering 4 girls in the last 2 months, while other 2 that he attempted to kill survived with severe injuries. What we know is that he killed 4 people. The suspect has since confessed, and his confessions correlate with the reported murder and serious assault cases. The suspect will be handed over to authorities in charge of further and thorough investigation to be able to handle this case. Hafashimana, who is under investigation, said that he used to behead the victims and took their heads and dumped them in a swamp connecting Rusororo and Water Channel, which flows to Nyabarongo River. This man, he first came to Kigali in 2008 searching for a job, and in 2012 he immediately embarked on robberies. Adam Squizera, RTV News.
Very tragic. Now, farmers in Kamonyi district have expressed concern over the rising maize production prices that were recently announced by the Ministry of Trade and Industry. Adam Squizera once again.
The announcement from the Ministry of Trade and Industry, dated on 2nd February, informed all farmers, consumers, and everyone in general that the basic price for maize is between 309 and 323 Rwandan francs per kilo, depending on the quality. Some local farmers in Kamonyi district say that this price amount is low comparing to the current market price, since the cultivation and harvesting cost has increased. Currently, the price of maize is 600. Then, we are not even allowed to supply them directly to the market due to the resolutions took by our cooperatives. Unless you do, you can be even punished. On the other hand, their seed multipliers also complains on this for the fact that the climate change and the rise of market prices could lead them to the loss. Comparing to how RAB works with the seed multipliers, Tubura. But you know that currently the seeds are expensive. That's why you find that the market production is at 750, while seed is at 680 francs. So you understand they can raise the price of seeds. However, these farmers request the Ministry of Agriculture and Animal Resources to facilitate them to get fertilizers and good seeds to plant. Adam Squizera, RTV News.
Now, Rwanda Biomedical Center has expressed concern over the 1,500 reported cases of snake bites and people opting for illegal treatment, which sometimes leads to their death. Olivon Tete brings us this report.
Ingabire Clementine, a resident of Gahanga sector, was bitten by a snake in 2019. She first went to seek treatment illegally to get rid of that, but it wasn't helpful. Afterwards, she went for medical treatment and got well, even though she had to spend so much money. They took me to a traditional healer. He performed some few rituals and put some medications on my leg. Then I went back home. But in the morning, my leg kept swelling. Then I went to the hospital. When the incident happened, it didn't hurt that much. But afterwards, the pain got worse and the leg was swollen. And if I didn't seek medical help, I could have died because the pain was intense. Being bitten by snakes is a problem that worries people, especially those who live near forests where snakes often live. Once I went to fetch water and then the snake ran after me. The second time when I was going to see my boss, I also ran into a snake. It went after me that time as well. And when you run into a snake, it spits on you, and by then you have to seek medical help. Dr. Richard Nduwayezu, a doctor at King Faisal Hospital, points out that what is worrying is the people who seek treatment in illegal ways, which results into other various effects, such as death.
Umuntu wariwe n'inzoka ifite ubumara biba bisaba ko bamutera antivene kugira ngo ikuremo bwa bumara.
When a snake with venom bites you, it requires to get antivenin. Most of the times, when people are bitten by snakes, they end up getting amputations because they didn't seek medical help, and sometimes you may even get scars, and due to them, you won't be able to stretch your arm or leg. Most of the times, people prefer traditional healing methods, which results into complications, and they may end up dying. And when we do a research, those are the categories of people we find.
The Rwanda Biomedical Center shows that every year 1,500 people are bitten by snakes. The acting director of Neglected Tropical Diseases Program and Other Parasitic Diseases, Mbonigawa Jean Bosco, urges people who face such dangers to immediately seek medical help.
These diseases are alarming, and everything that kills a human is something that we should be concerned about, because most of these diseases kill people and others affect people gravely, causing them disabilities. Among those that cause death includes being bitten by dogs and snakes. Currently, the Ministry of Health, in partnership with other various ministries, are working together to give better outcomes.
Snakebite is one of the 20 neglected diseases which the World Health Organization identifies as a concern that should be addressed. Olive Nete, RTV News.
Thank you, Olive. Still on health matters, health institutions request all citizens, especially parents with young children, to practice good hygiene in order to prevent diseases that are caused by poor hygiene. Olive Ntete once more.
Mutete Valentine is a community health worker in Kenya sector in Kigali City. She explains how she assists a child brought to her with diseases caused by poor hygiene. Those medicines are called zinc. We usually use it when a child has diarrhea. We also have syrups that we use as well. We always encourage parents to seek treatment. I give him the first treatment, and during that process, I also first show the mother how to be hygienic. I wash my hands before providing medicine to the child. She continues by explaining that the parent who brings the child for treatment due to poor hygiene are also encouraged to have hygiene and sanitation. When we visit people's homes, we encourage them to practice good hygiene. We also urge them to be hygienic while preparing food, being hygienic in their home places, and having cleanliness in each and every place. Some parents who work closely with community health workers appreciate their contribution in the well-being of the society. Community health workers always teach us to practice sanitation and hygiene in our daily life, be it in our places, what we eat, what we wear, and especially taking care of our children by making sure that we clean with hot water materials such as those used in feeding them. We do that to avoid diseases that would result from poor hygiene. We wash utensils, and we also wash their hands when they come back from playing. Some of the health centers point out that there are some people who do not consider hygiene and then end up having diseases related to poor hygiene. But they also point out that they work hand in hand with community health workers in sensibilizing people to practice good hygiene.
We even treat adults, and we do our very best in sensibilizing them about practicing good hygiene together with the community health workers to the very lowest level. Because we work with all categories, we also initiated a program of teaching them about hygiene and sanitation. We usually encourage them to wash hands by letting them know that we did wash hands to fight COVID, only that we do on a regular basis. For it is important that it is even revealed by our statistics that because of washing hands, it has reduced the poor hygiene in our area.
Ladislas Shimimana, the research technical officer in the unit of neglected tropical diseases at the Rwanda Biomedical Center, urges residents to enhance hygiene and also get early treatment in case of sickness.
An individual has a big role in fighting poor hygiene. People have to change mindsets and behaviors. People should practice good hygiene. Seek treatment early. This would contribute in preventing diseases and also preventing others from getting sick.
According to the Rwanda Biomedical Center, 41% of Rwandans have problems with intestinal worms, including those caused by poor hygiene.
I am Isabel Masozera. Always a pleasure bringing you the latest here, home in Rwanda, and of course beyond. Do keep it RTV.